Oops, you just went off. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, so I don't know if Mercury's in retrograde or what, because it's just been crazy trying to get on this live. And we got Kamal, he's here, ready to join us. Kamal, you're sideways. Can you flip your camera
Oh,
over the other way?
it's funny because
Okay.
on my thing it's still, but yeah, okay.
Okay, there you go. That's perfect. All right. So, thank you. I know people have been coming on. I think we had like 9 people who came on, and now you probably left. I'm so sorry. Um,
It's
please
all right.
come back, rejoin us. If not, check out the repeat. But anyway, things is working. We're on here now. Kamau is here, and yeah. So I was starting to tell them. Let me just start all over again. I was saying how we met in Thailand, in Chiang Mai,
Hmm.
because Lynn connected us via Facebook, and I met you while we both happened to be in Thailand. So that was nice. And then we reconnected
Yeah.
again in Bali. So I just wanted to introduce everyone to you. You're an amazing healer, energy worker, and so you're going to be part of Prandhara's flow. So I just wanted to introduce you. So
Yeah,
tell
thank
us a
you.
little bit about your first. So why don't you, can you tell us a little bit about Thailand? What brought you to Thailand? What that was like, and then yeah, let's just start with that.
Well, peace everybody who's here. My name is Kamal Bayomi, originally from San Francisco, Oakland, California, but been based in Indonesia, specifically Bali, for the last 15 years. And so I've been to Thailand a few times. Prior to that trip, when was the last time I was there? 4 years ago was prior to that trip because I did my Qigong teacher training in Thailand over at Dow Gardens. My instructor Tevia from his white type of Qigong is over there at Dow Gardens where Chia has his facility or whatnot. So that was the last time I was there. And so this particular trip, I was there to participate in the what is it, the Woke Folks Festival that was happening at that time. And because Thailand is really close, relatively speaking, to Bali, it's also was great because I needed to do a visa run, so the timing worked out perfectly. Where I had to leave from Bali, and then so flew over to Chiang Mai for the woke folks and did some talks, and also I'm also DJ, so I played some gigs there as well, and yeah, and then we connected, and it was a beautiful thing.
Okay, nice, nice, nice. And you live in Bali?
Yes,
Yes, yes.
based
So,
here in Bali.
what is life like in Bali?
I can show you. Hey,
Yes.
I don't know if you can see it, but just I'm at home just chilling. I wake up
Right.
every morning to particular, this view where I have just nature right out my door. Literally, I'm just standing on my balcony front right now, and it's glorious because Bali has exactly the perfect conditions if you work in spirituality and healing because
Mhm.
this island itself has spirituality infused intimately, directly, daily, every single minute with this culture. The Balinese culture is
Yes.
it's a Hindu culture, and everything they do is relative to spirit. So when you walk out the door, there's offerings. So as soon as I go down my stairs, the owner of this facility, she's putting offerings in the shrines. You go outside of the door, there's offerings in the streets. You go, wherever you go, there's going to be offerings, and that's in reverence for the spiritual energies that are flowing and are ever flowing in this particular place. And because of that, it provides a certain energy that allows one to, tap into it and experience it much deeper, whether you're conscious of it or not. It doesn't. You don't even have to be conscious of it. Anybody who comes to Bali is going to have that experience of the deeper aspects of spirit, even if they don't realize it. They're going to get a mirror thrown up so they can see where they're at in relationship to their own progress and their own path
Yes.
and their own choices in life.
Yes. Yes, and that's one of the things that happened with me, while I was there. It was just great. It was intense. Lots of healing, lots of work. But I did also go with the intention to do work. I just want to say real quick, thank you for those who are coming on. Hello, Darlene. Hello, Kalisha. I want this to also be interactive. We're going to be talking about our work, talking about Prandhara's flow. But if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Write down the questions and we'll respond. Okay, so this is for you. This is for you to ask anything you want to ask. It could be about energy work, tantra, sacred sexuality, whatever. Just ask about transformation, self mastery. Um, Ask and we'll try to answer. Do our best to answer. Okay, so yeah, so Bali was really, really, really special. Got lots of healing work. Bali is a magical place. I love it. If you're thinking about traveling, I definitely recommend going to Bali, going to Thailand, or coming to Brazil. So come out. Tell us a little bit about your work. What you do. I know you do qigong, ecstasy dance, static dance, ecstatic dance. I'm like ecstasy. I'm always on
Ecstasy
ecstasy.
dance. Oh, you got me there, man.
I'm always in bliss and ecstasy and joy. So ecstatic dance, which takes you
Ecstatic
to a
ecstasy.
level of ecstasy, right? You know. So tell
Ecstatic
us a little bit of
ecstasy is the same, same word.
that. Same word, same
Um,
word.
I'll go from the umbrella and then get a bit more specific. I do a variety of things. Gemini moon,
Hmm.
cusp of Gemini. I just have to do a hell of shit. But the the umbrella really is to assist people in awakening to their greater divinity. That's the umbrella. So I do it through a variety of different lanes because there's so many different things. Everyone is different and has different things that they're drawn to, and different catalysts that can awaken their own divinity. So
Hmm.
for the majority of my life, it's been directly related to the arts. So
Right.
I write poetry. I'm an author. I've written a novel. I used to be, back in the day, I had a rap album, I had a rap group, and was really strong in the rap community. It was really deep in the spoken word community as well. Was 1999, I got, voted best poet in the 1999 Slam Finals in Oakland, California.
Hmm.
I had a play, so theater arts, based on a poem that I had written that was really popular during that time. So I met this jazz musician. Actually, I didn't just meet him; I already knew him. But he approached me. He was like, "Man, I want to do a play with this poem." So a play was created, a one-act play, and we toured that. So all these different artistic lanes in which I would bring the work, and the work is, through the words, speaking to the greater divinity that we all are, speaking to all the different things that are taking place in our societies, but not just showing it or just talking about it from a surface level, like really looking at the layers and how it hits us, and not only in our minds and our bodies, but definitely how it affects us on a spiritual level, and
Right.
how these different challenges that we face just serve as catalysts. They're an impetus for us to really turn the scope on ourselves and see where we can, get stronger, where we can activate a deeper level of expression. All these different things serve as a catalyst for that. And so all my
Yes.
arts were related to that. And so when I came to Bali is when it started to take on another level in terms of being more global, because for when I came here, I've been in Bali for 15 years. So when I
Hmm.
arrived here, um, there weren't so many foreigners here. There was a smaller expat community. So, and the locals didn't really know English so well. So I had to, you know, change that. You can't always just talk like this to people who don't really
Right.
speak your language. So you
Right.
have to express and convey the same, principles, but in other ways. And so I got
Hmm.
really deeper in again in movement, because a lot of the local kids who were here were into the dance. So I would transmit, how to develop your personal expression and
Hmm.
creativity and divinity through the movements. And they were really into b-boying and breakdancing and hip hop culture. So I was just guiding that process. And I ended up mentoring them for a number of years, about eight or so years, until they
Hmm.
became like the top crew in Indonesia and doing their thing. And then with that, also began to organize different events that were around bringing all these different elements of arts together, because they were very separate. There was,
Hmm.
you had your traditional artists over there. You had, contemporary dancers, more kids over here. You had, painters over there, musicians over there, but none of it was coming together. But for me, it's all one. You feel me? It's all aspects of the one. And then when you bring it all together, not only the stuff that kids are getting into, you keep that traditional element too. You can birth something that is completely new. And then the thread
Mm-hmm.
everything is one. It's true, but oftentimes people say it on a very surface, fluffy level. But when you can
Mm-hmm.
really tap into your spirit and allow it to come forth, it's the same energy that another person has that they allow
Mm-hmm.
to come forth when they go to the deepest levels of who they are. Feel me? And so if we
Yes.
could thread all that together, then we can start to see the greater manifestations. And so all my work is related to that. Um,
Wow.
I used to study ancient. My first like real entry into spirituality came through the ancient Kemetic school, Asar Set, and with that, I studied with them for like 2 years, and then I was into initiation to be in the priesthood of that for about 6 months. And then I removed myself from that initiation process because it came to a point for myself I couldn't be under any hierarchy. You feel me? So life
Mm-hmm.
became my direct teacher, and everyone
Right.
who I interacted with had something I could learn from. Right, so
Right.
everything became a teacher.
Oh,
Nature
that's
became a
true.
teacher,
So true.
and so all of this is related to the work. So now what I impart to people is that, I guide them into their own process of their unique way in which they can awaken who they are, because everyone has their specifics of how they, some people need really structured instruction. Other people
Mm-hmm.
need more loose instruction to allow flow to happen within where they can make more direct choices for themselves. Some people learn by trial and error. There's so many modes in which people learn. So I
Mm-hmm.
guide people to find which is the best way in which they can learn and then activate that. So Qigong is
Mm-hmm.
a part of that.
As you said all of that, I'm like, wow, I didn't know all of that. That's awesome. That's awesome. So Tafari commented, he says, morning somewhere, yes. And he said, wow, 15 years. Wow, wow, wow. So
Mm,
I know 15 years, that's a long time. So
yeah,
yeah,
cool,
and
man.
so so you went to Thailand for Montauk Chia. I also studied a little bit about under well in terms of reading books by Montauk Chia. Um,
Yeah, excuse me. I didn't hold on.
mhm.
I didn't go for him. I was just my instructor. My
Oh,
instructor
okay,
created White Tiger Qigong, but he's based in the same facility, like Montauk Chia's facility.
okay.
So
Mhm.
he came and spoke to our class for one session, but I wasn't like directly studying with him, though I have read his books also, a lot of his books also.
Mhm. Right. Okay. Cool. 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 Thanks for that. Thanks for that correction. Yeah, I think I keep saying that, and I think you keep correcting me. um, So yeah, yeah. Hello to those who are just joining us. Hello, Thais. Hello, Christina. Again, if you have any questions, comments, please write questions, comments that you might have so we can answer anything that you want to know. Um, this work sounds amazing. Can't wait to have you on the 27th. So Kamal will be joining us on the 27th via Zoom Live, Zoom. And so only for those who register. I will put the information on this Facebook Live so that you can register if you haven't already, and you can join us this month. So, um, tell us a little bit. Not too much, but a little bit about what the 27th will be like. Hello, Sienna Catherine, for joining us.
Well, for
So,
me,
mhm,
when I when I do talks or anything, I'm
mhm,
really very much a like what is the vibe of the space, because I could speak about anything. I could talk about any
mhm.
subject that I have awareness of. I mean, I can't talk about like how to build a rocket ship or no stuff like that, of course, but related to the process of personal development and navigating this earth realm, we can go with it. So we can speak to qigong principles, we can speak to higher self dynamics and metaphysics, we can speak to ancient cultures and religions and how that relates to now, because I'm really about how things relate to now. I'm also really about simplifying practices, because if the more complex you get, the more time things take, and we ain't got no
True.
time.
Hmm.
Because time really
True.
exists, but simultaneously, the dynamics of the earth is changing and it's shifting really quickly. And there's a very high probability that things could get really rough very soon. And so we
Mm-hmm.
want to take these awarenesses and these different practices that we've been doing and simplify them so they're really effective on a daily basis. I don't, where a person doesn't need to, wake up in the morning, all of a sudden they have to spend 3 hours doing all kind of crazy ritual in order to get their energy feel right. when
Right.
you,
Right.
so if you can learn the principles of how to simplify, then you can take all of those 3 hour rituals and simplify them into a 30-minute practice, and then you're good to go. You feel me? So
Yes.
um, I really I really appreciate that, and I really like to impart that it doesn't have to be so hard. It doesn't have to be, you know, um, super challenging. It's just we believe that if it's more complex, that makes it more powerful.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not always the case. It's about quality over quantity. So if you have something that is simple and really, really powerful that you can do on a daily basis, then that's going to allow you to be more consistent with your practice for one, but also it allows you to relax into your life
Mm-hmm. True.
and not have to be so strict with yourself. And so I like to impart
Right.
these different things, regardless of whatever subject is being spoken to.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Hello, Samantha. Lynn, I thank you for your comment. Lynn Dales, você também. You too. And that's so important because that's one of the things that's interesting. When I was just in Bali, I did a Kundalini Reiki initiation. And one of the things with the Kundalini Reiki is much more simple. It's not so complex. There's no symbols. It's all about intention. And that's one of the things that I've, recently been like working towards like just really incorporating in my stuff, that just in my life, that simplicity is powerful. It doesn't have to be so complex. I've learned so many different things, and I had where I'm like, okay, I'm doing this, and then I'm doing this, and I'm doing that, and it's like too much. And so I really just kind of reduce where I'm doing a couple of breath work, some like pranayamic breathing, some movement, some shaking, like you were saying in the thing, the what is was it? It was like a course that I went to that you had at Yoga Barn. The conversation thing where you talk about the shaking, and then we did the tapping. So I'm including a few different things and movements in my work, and some of the qigong. And I feel that I'm feeling a difference, and I'm feeling that's good. And I think that it's important for people to hear what you just said and to experience that, because so many people think for change to happen, for transformation to happen, for healing to happen, it has to be something so complex. So and that's not necessarily the case. And
Right.
and basically, just kind of in a nutshell, what you're saying is like you go with the flow. What questions come up, you answer, you talk. That's why this is Prandhara's flow. As I also, you
Yeah, it's
Prandhara.
for
Go ahead.
sure. You go with the flow, but know the flow that you're going with. That's the thing.
Yes,
That's the key.
that's the key.
Know the flow which you're going with, right?
Hmm.
There are many flows, and I say this to people who say, "I just go," because you get a lot of people who come to Bali who go too much with the flow in a way where it's just like, I'm just gonna do whatever, where they can't ground themselves into anything, right?
Hmm.
So it's like, know the flow you're going with, because if you go with some flow that is not harmonious with who you are, you can flow your ass right off a cliff and
We don't
be
want
in some
that.
jagged rocks below. so
Right.
so know the flows you're going with.
Hmm.
And but it's important because, and this is a core principle of qigong, is to open up the energy channels within your body so your body can have its flow within. The energy can flow through its proper channels, and you can utilize that energy for whatever purposes you want to excuse me, to direct them towards, because that's what
Yeah.
makes qigong. It's not just exercise where you're just doing slow movements or fast movements, and it's the movement with the breath, the intention, because the intention is what's going to make the qigong, the intention of where you're
Hmm.
directing the energy. And so this is what I mean by, know your flow. You want to
Yeah.
open up the channels so you can flow, but then you also know where you're going to the degree, because
Mm.
this is qigong. So qigong, you want to know just the flow through life. There's always an unseen element. There's always a mystery at play. You can't know everything, right? And
Right.
if one can become comfortable in that knowledge of I don't know it all. I can't see beyond that horizon, but I know I'm moving towards it. But I have a trust
Yes.
factor that there's a higher guidance system that I'm rocking with. You feel me? That will steer my flow and keep me on the safe path and keep me learning and learning and providing things for me to expand further and strengthen that connection. And then with that, then whatever flow I go with will be a smooth one if I'm in that trust and that connection is there.
Yes. 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 Hello, Nubia. Hello, Gia. Thanks for joining again. So, if you have any questions for us about going with the flow, if you have any questions about anything, how do you know which flow to go with? He's talking about this, and this is so important. If you have a question about that, send it. Let Kamal. This is what he does. He answers questions, and so that was so important because yes, if you just go with the flow with any flow, yeah, you can fall off a cliff. And there's been many of people who followed wrong leaders maybe, or wrong types of friends or family members, and shit just didn't work out. They end up having more issues, more problems. So
Yeah.
it's really, really important.
It's
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
important because there's a lot of charlatans, if you will,
Hmm.
that will siphon your energy.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
will they will give you, they'll do some tricks for you. They'll show you some fancy stuff and then get you hooked. And if you start to believe them that they are the way and they have the sole thing and not listen to your own intuition and your inner guidance, then you're going to abdicate your power to them. You're going to give over
Hmm.
power. And that's when you think and it can feel good. A lot of things can feel good, but the nature of spiritual development isn't necessarily about feeling good. It's about
Right.
moving into a position where you're in control of your own sphere, where you can retain your energy, you can direct it as you wish. You don't have it being imposed on because you know your borders and your boundaries, and you know these things. This is what spiritual development is about. It's about knowing yourself on the deepest of levels and establishing your connection with a grand level, your connection with nature, your
Hmm.
connection with all that is, from a place of power, from a place of personal
Yes.
power. And so certain people will steal that power for their own purposes. And we want to, up our level of discernment in order to recognize when that is happening. So
Hmm.
whenever we step into, even me listening to what I say, test it, put it into your own activation if it's cool to
Exactly.
simplify or not. If you think complexity is what brings you peace, then be complex. So be it,
Right.
but really take what anybody says and see how it resonates with your own flow in that way. And so if that flow resonates with your flow, so be it. What
I
happens?
love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you. That's awesome. That was well said. Hello, Adisa. Thanks for joining. That was awesome. That was awesome. Oh my God, yeah, I just want to say amen. Amen to that. Ashe. And so it is. I see Sasia. Um, wow, wow, wow. Did you guys hear that? Did you hear that? I hope so. I hope you were
Yeah.
listening. I think if not, if you missed this, go back and replay this because that was important. That was important. Um, so true. And the thing is, we actually we know ourselves. We know ourselves better than anyone else, and we know what feels good. And so sometimes we try to give that power over to someone else because we think other people know so much more than we do, or other people are so much further along. And so it's important to really listen to our intuition when we're going to be working with someone, being guided, allowing someone to guide us. Hello, Brenda. Thank you for coming on. So it's really important for us to listen to our intuition, our instincts. And it's not when we're on a spiritual path, sometimes people go on a spiritual path and they want to just completely just be at peace and happy. You're going to have peace, you're going to have happiness, but it's not always going to be easy. It's not always, there's going to be, difficulties that arise. There's going to be so many different things that arise, and so but a lot of those things are going to help you to grow and connect to yourself and learn more about yourself and become more empowered. So don't just say, okay, I want to go on this path so everything can just flow easily through my life, because that's not necessarily realistic. There's going to be ebbs and
Yeah.
flows.
And always ebbs and flows. In fact, ebbs are part of the flow.
Hmm.
It's like
Hmm.
your body. If you went out dancing for 5 hours, you're gonna go and plop in your bed after you get home and take your shower and all that. You're gonna plop in bed and knock out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's and ebbs allow for further flow. So when those ebbs arise, to it's okay and understanding that what often happens is that we have the tendency to believe that if something goes quote unquote wrong, that it's not good, that's bad, everything is supposed to go the way I think it should go, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, for instance, if you're traveling and you're going on a plane flight, and let's say the plane is delayed, right? And then it's delayed where you may miss your connecting flight or whatever like that, right? And the tendency is for people to get really angry, right? And like, and get pissed and then want to shout and do these different things that can lead to a spiral into further negativity and further, disharmony or dissonance. But
Mm-hmm.
the possibilities often exist that delay, even those delays happen for a reason. So let's just say we just sit in the delay and say, okay, well, it's delayed. I can't do nothing about it, right? So let me just accept the situation and be at peace. And me being at peace, perhaps, when it's time to go, I fly to my next destination, which is a connecting flight, but I miss my connecting flight. But because I miss my connecting flight, I meet somebody, and that person has the exact information that I need, that I was looking
Mm-hmm.
for.
Yes.
The maybe it was a connection for a project, or a person who can fund, a project that I have, or a person who had information that can help me learn about something that I was learning about. So
Mm-hmm.
that wouldn't have happened if I caught my flight. Right? So
Right.
oftentimes life, this is the mystery, this is the unseen aspect of spirit that we're working with, and when we accept and we tap into that, and when those delays happen, we just be at peace, because there's always another door opening to shine light on something else that is beneficial for us if we allow it to, right?
Yes.
If we don't, if we move into the space of anger and dissonance, and projecting that out, then we block what is for us to rock up to us and be like, hey, check this out. We block it
Mm-hmm.
because we're in a state of anger, because we're unable to see it. So if we can just relax into the edge,
Mm-hmm.
then it allows for flow, right?
Right. Yes. If you can relax into the ebb, it allows for the flow to flow. Yes. I like that. I like that. Yes. Hello,
Yeah.
Tamiko. Hello, Brenda. Thank you guys for coming on. If you have any questions, we're talking about the ebb and flow. We're talking about life. We're talking about empowerment. We're talking about energy work, qigong, you name it. We're talking about it. So don't be shy. If you have some questions, ask. Let me know you're still here. Send a hello. Say hi. Send a smiley face. Something. Let me know you're still here. Write something. Let us know, so we're not just thinking we're just talking to ourselves. We want to be talking with you guys. Send us messages. I see you coming on, right? Send a smile, a like, a thumbs up, a heart, a wow, something. Send us something. So yeah, so January
Right.
27th, we're gonna have Kamal on,
How,
doing his
how do
thing.
I share this?
How do you share this? Okay, good question. So on Facebook, you should see when you go to the live. I'm actually on it now on my phone. You can see. So if you are you on your phone or
Mhm.
computer?
On my phone.
Oh, okay. So just once we get off, you'll see where you can share it, and you just hit the share button.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So you'll see it since I tagged you on it. You can just share that. It was You're not supposed to be
All right.
asking questions. People that's watching supposed to be asking questions. I'm just joking. Okay. See, even Kamal had a question. Come on, people. Y'all got questions for us? Ask away. Ask away. Ask away. Okay. Tafari just said,
Oh.
"Thank you, Tafari. How do you stay centered in your Africanness living in Bali? I'm considering a move to Thailand, and that is something that I think about. Just curious." Okay, good question.
That's a great question, actually. That's a
Yeah.
great question.
Yes.
Um, it's like I grew up in the Bay Area, right? I grew up in San
Mhm.
Francisco, and I moved to Oakland, East Oakland, 15. And I'm grateful to be surrounded by people who are like really involved in the the cultural arts and activism and trying to uplift and better the situation of our community in the States, right? So I was infused in that. My name is Kamal Bakari Abayomi, and it's a full African name. When I say full African name, I mean it has my Kenyan Kamal is a Kenyan name, East African name. Abayomi is Yoruba name. It's a West African name, and then Bakari is Swahili name, which is a language that traverses a few countries, right? And then you put the aspects of continent. Now, no one else in my family has, because that bridge and that connection was snapped during the transatlantic slave trade, right? So that was bestowed on me just at birth. And growing up in the community where you have people who are constantly oriented towards the focus on betterment of culture, it's just it was deeply ingrained. And so when I came here to Bali, it's a trip because being one of the only Black people who were living here at the time, there was a period where I went for like 2 years and I didn't really see. I probably saw maybe 3 or 4 Black people in that span of time. That you get presented with a lot of things to let you know the extremes of your beliefs that aren't necessarily true. Like, for example, we have a thing with being stared at in the States, particularly by like, white people and stuff like that, because, and generally when people stare, we tend to think that they're staring for negative reasons. Like, and then we go, well, what you staring at? What you want? This is our own insecurity. It's not necessarily always their projection. Yeah, sometimes they're looking at and being judgmental and disrespectful, but oftentimes it's not. And so being here in Bali and being in Asia, most people who stare are not staring disrespectfully. They're staring with curiosity. And they want to know about where you're from. Like, wow, I've never seen a person who looks like that before. What's that about? But similar, if I think in a negative way, then I'm going to have a negative experience. And so I had to learn to shift my dynamic of how people are looking at me and perceiving me. And here in Asia, you get the extremes of it. So you do get some people, nowhere near a lot, but some people who do look and see themselves as above you because you have dark skin or something like that, and they believe themselves to be superior because they've been programmed with that same, white media bias that white is good and black is bad. They get that same thing, but for the most part, people are looking curiosity. And then there's also on the other end of people who look with total love because their experience of Black people is loving. Like, wow, that's he looks like the person who's got my favorite song. They have that experience too. But into like soccer and they really sports and they really like sports and they see Black people who are really excelling in these different things. You just get the spectrum of experience. And so how to retain that for me, and being here and not wanting to just be like, man, I need to be around some Black people, which happens. It happened. Like, man, I got to go and just be in a spot where everybody, just knows already. I got to mentor kids just into hip hop, so I created a lot of environment that I want to see just in mentoring kids who are already into hip hop. And, since I rap and since I started DJing when I moved here, so I would throw parties and just invite those who were into hip hop to come and experience, real hip hop culture. So that kept me vibrant and being cool to be here and not necessarily being around a whole lot of, quote unquote, Black people, even though the kids who were into hip hop, all, they're Indonesian, they're very melanated peoples. So that going, that kept it going.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Tafari, for that question. That was a great question. And when you said that was a great question, he said, I have a degree, LOL. Sounds good. So yeah, if you think about moving to Thailand, I definitely recommend Chiang Mai or Koh Phangan. I don't recommend moving to Bangkok. Not that you asked, but I'm giving my little 2 cents. So anyway.
I just wanted to continue on that thread for a second.
Okay, go ahead.
We carry Africa wherever we go, right? Mm-hmm. So for myself, and a big reason why I was planted here, because it wasn't just a choice of me saying I'm moving to Bali. That never happened. Like, and I was doing fine in the Bay. Like my star was going up. It was an ascending star, and I was literally sent by my guides to come this way. And when I say literally, it was through a shamanic woman coming up to me in a bookstore. Is like, you got your spirit guides are really strong and they have some information for you. We need to talk. You feel me? And so we ended up having this conversation, and through the course of the conversation, she was like saying that they're saying that you're going to come into some money soon, you're going to do a lot of traveling. And at that time I didn't even have a passport. I wasn't thinking about traveling outside of the States. I was doing my runs with the play at the time in the States, but I wasn't thinking about internationally at all. But she was like, come into some money, you're going to do a lot of traveling. And she mentioned coming this way. It's a long story, I'm going to give the whole thing, but she mentioned going to Australia. Through the happenstance, I ended up coming to Bali on my way to Australia, and then had just a glorious time when I was here. And from that, really resonated with this place. Came back here, so on and so forth. When I come over here, then I meet these young kids who are getting into the culture, and then ended up being able to represent the culture well because I grew up in it. You feel me? Growing up with the principle of knowing oneself and studying oneself and studying one's environment. So for this place to receive someone who has the information that I have served to change a lot of myths that people had about us. And there were a lot of myths that I had to dispel in my course of being here and meeting people in not only Bali, which is now, an international destination, but also going to Java, also going to Papua, where there's other Black people, who look just like us, who are
Mhm.
having experience, who have never met people from Black people from the States or anything like that. So to be able to share, the knowledge and experience that I've gained directly to them, not only just through words, but them seeing me all the time and seeing how I live my life and seeing what I do, it just changed a lot of myths. So, you
Mhm.
know, just paving the way. So a lot of Black folks who are coming here now, and a lot, I see so many when I travel around now, like, they don't even know if they were here 25 years ago, they'd have been getting all kinds of stares and people pointing at them, and they might be having all kinds of triggers going on. But because they were so familiar with me, because I was representing very openly and publicly, because I was working in the entertainment field, that it would serve to shift a lot of perceptions. So you know
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
another reason to to travel. If you really are good with yourself, and you've done a lot of work on yourself, and you're comfortable with your culture, to go to places where they don't get to experience that, you automatically serve as an ambassador.
Mhm.
And sometimes it gets to like, damn, do I gotta represent all billion African people on the planet? Sometimes you don't want to, but for me,
Mhm.
because I'm content with myself, and I ain't got no problem with that. I represent me first and foremost. Happen to be an African man, so I
Mhm.
represent that too.
Yes, yes. So Tafari said, "We are Africa. We do carry it with us." And he said, "Thank you." And oh yeah, he said, "It has my heart." Phuket. Okay, so he's thinking about going to Phuket. I'm reading down the line because you don't get to see the what people are writing. So only I on
No,
this
I
on this
can't see.
platform. Yeah. So I'm just reading it for you. Um, all right. So we're going to be finishing up here. We got another 2 minutes or so. So if anyone has any questions or any comments, please go ahead and write them now. Leave a comment or a question and we'll ask. So anyway, I'm really excited. I really decided to do this project while I was in Bali during December. So it was a real quick last minute thing. So and I have 12 amazing people. Kamal is going to be starting us off in January. Then I have Lynn. I have a Nefertiti. I have Tafari. He's going to be on there. My girl Tamika, Monisha.
Hey,
We're going to have a great, 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 great lineup. It looks really good. I'm going to put the website here. Check out the website so you can see the lineup. You can see everybody's bio, see the information, sign up. You could do the whole year if you want. If you feel like the whole year is too much, just sign up for a month with one of the months that resonate with you. If you feel like, you're feeling what Kamal said, you can sign up for just his month. If you want to do 2 or 3 of the months with a couple of people that resonate with you, do that. I'm going to have everyone come on live. Hi, Deanne. Thanks for joining. I'm going to have, everyone who's on, they're going to be doing their live, so you can fill them out. You can get to know them and see. And if you want to do that month's workshop, it'll be great. It's going to be nice. Everyone, I'm telling you, everyone is deep. Everyone is great. Everyone has some great information. Like really, 2020 is the year. It's the year for transformation. It's a great year. A lot of stuff is going to be happening. A lot of changes. A lot of transformation. You know. So come on, do the work so you can get centered, so you can get grounded, so you can have some tools, simple tools. Doesn't have to be complex. You can find some simple tools that can help keep you centered, help you understand yourself, understand your body, connect with yourself, be more empowered to know what you want in this life, to be able to fulfill your life mission, your purpose in this life. It's all about really knowing yourself, getting to that point, either through silence, through the movement, but really just connecting to your body so you can hear. You can hear your divine intuition so that you can follow the path that you want, that you should be following, so that you can follow your calling. Like Kamal, he never decided I'm going to go live in Bali, but he was open. He did the work to be open so that he could follow his guidance, so he could follow and and arrive there. And if you've ever heard any of my talks, I've been on different podcasts. People have asked me, why did you live in Brazil? I've said the same thing. I never chose to live in Brazil. Brazil chose me. Like it just kind of happened. I remained open to divine guidance, and I followed. And I never thought of going global either, or being an international therapist. I did want to do retreats around the world, but I was just thinking, bringing Americans. And after being here, my work began to flow, open up, where I'm teaching workshops, doing retreats all over the world, within Europe, Asia, South America, North America. You know, I haven't been on the continent yet. I got to. That's my next stop. Putting that out there for the universe, and so I've just been being led and doing the work, and I think that um, all of us can listen to our inner guidance, connect to the divine, to our ancestors of light, and be led. You know, to follow your life's purpose. And I'm hoping that this is one of those avenues that will help you and give you what you need. And so that's what this is all about.
Yeah.
So, so I will have the website on here. I'm going to write that. And thank you all for coming out. Thank you for
Uh,
participating, for listening. Go ahead.
Can I just wanted to give a little bit of information about some stuff that might be coming up, or that is coming up, that you might be interested in. In March, we're doing the second annual Black Divinity Meditation Day. That'll be on March 22nd of this year. It's a global 24-hour meditation day. So we're asking that meditators, teachers, and practitioners to gather together for 1 hour at least of meditation together. And for those who are learning, we ask, between now and then, you can learn the process of meditation, find a meditation teacher so you can sit for an hour on that particular day. We did it last year. Thousands of people in the world participated. It was
Nice.
beautiful. And so we're doing the second one this year. And for those who are traveling, you're welcome to come to launch it with us here in Bali that day. We'll have, for that weekend, actually, we're going to have a plethora of activities related to, cultivating that divinity and opening it up. And then that day of meditation. And then on the 25th of March is the Balinese, it's Nyepi, it's the Balinese Day of Silence, which is a 24-hour day of silence.
Nice, nice,
The whole island does it on the 25th.
nice.
So,
Tafari said he heard about the
if you
event
want to
on our
find information,
Instagram.
go ahead. I was just going to say, if you just on Instagram, just go to Black Divinity Meditation, and
Mhm.
just holla.
That's what I was just saying. Tafari said he heard about it on Instagram, so I was just saying that. So awesome, awesome. And what's the name of your book? Are people able to get your book?
Yeah, I have two books. I have God Body, which is a novel that I released a few years ago, and then I have more recent a poetry book I released last year, the beginning of last year. It's called hashtag Me3. So on hashtag Me3 is on Amazon. God Body is out of print, but if anybody is interested, just send me a message, and then I still have the ebook format. I can get it to you that way.
Perfect, perfect. Hello, Tresa. I keep wanting to say Teresa. Hello, Tressa and Elizabeth. Thank you guys for joining. We're going to be ending. Tressa is going to be one of our teachers, guides as well on Prandhara Flow. So go ahead, add Kamal on your Facebook if you're interested. Kamal, at the end, go ahead and write down your Instagram page so they can add you on Instagram. And he is
all my
he is tagged on this, so you can add him on Facebook. Go ahead. There's a little lag. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, all my social media stuff is under my name, just Kamal Abayomi. And then and just Silent Warrior Spirit also on Instagram. So, but if you just put my name on, whether it's Facebook and I'm not using Facebook so much anymore. I usually only use Messenger, have contacts there, but I haven't really been posting so much. But Instagram, I'm more active. So, find me on there. It's easier.
Perfect. Yes. So add Kamal on Instagram. His name is on. He's tagged on it, so you'll see his name. Add him if you're interested in his books. Write down the name of your books. That'd be great. If this resonated with you, if you like what you heard, sign up. I'm going to have the website. Just go to the website, register there, and I hope to see you on the 27th. Well, have a good night. Anything you want to share before we end, Kamal?
Oh yeah. Just keep in mind that simplify. Continue your practices and whatever practices you're doing, and simplify it so it can be easily applicable in any situation. Right? You don't want to have a situation of intensity come about, and then you have to run away and do a 3-hour ritual to clear yourself. Get everything you do simplified so it can be completely integrated into your being. And then you become the ritual. You wake up, it's a ritual. You take a shower, it's a ritual. You eat dinner, it's a ritual. You just become it. And it's the goal to just embody all of these things. So,
I'm writing that down. You become the ritual. I like that. Okay, so Tafari had asked us, please spell his name, but then he said he got it. Okay, perfect, Tafari. Great. Awesome. You know what? I'm going to have to replay this live because it was so good. Say it again. You kind of went out. I think he said
thank you for asking the question.
Okay, yeah. So he was saying thank you for asking the question, Safari. Yes, I will be replaying this so that I can get all of this juicy goodness from Kamal. Because when I'm kind of hosting too, and I'm kind of looking to see who comes on and say hi, I'm not absorbing everything 100%. So I'm about to replay this myself and listen to get all this juicy goodness. This was great. Thank you so much, Kamal, for being on. This was awesome. You were great. You spit a lot of knowledge, and can't wait to have you on. So we'll see you on the 27th. I'm sure I'll talk to you before then. And you guys have a good night. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for listening. Love you guys.
Cool. Peace, y'all. Thank you.
Peace.